And we'd like to thank Banner Desert, wow, no, Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our community spotlight this morning. And this morning we will be talking to Banner Air. So, goodness, got a little confused there. But this morning, the third Wednesday of every month, we have Banner Payson Medical Center. People from Banner Payson come in, and this morning we're going to be talking about the services of Banner Air. And joining us in the studio this morning is Richard Swedbergh and Adam Martin. Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for doing the drive up the hill. I know have to twist your arm to get out of the heat down there, come up to the cooler air here in the mountains, but thank you for your sacrifice.
Yeah, always happy to get up where it's a little bit cooler.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and again, going to be talking about Banner Air, the operations, membership, and just the role that Banner Air plays here in RIM country, a very important role. So I guess if you could start us off, Richard, for those that maybe are new to the area, if you could explain what Banner is, services, and the services you provide.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So the Banner Air program was started about 3 years ago. So I think we just hit our 3-year milestone on July 1st. When we started the program, we started with 4 aircraft, and obviously one's up here in Payson. It's located at the hospital. You could drive over there and see it anytime. It's a big red, white, and blue helicopter sitting right out front. The purpose of having the medevac aircraft is really about speed, right? If we're needing to get somebody down to the valley, God forbid, we're having a heart attack, a stroke, something like that, time is of the essence. Driving down 87 in an ambulance, you're looking at, an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours to get to the big hospitals in the valley that can really handle those types of complex illnesses. Now for the aircraft, you're looking at maybe 25, 30 minutes. So when minutes count, and certainly they do, in those cases, the aircraft's the way to go. The other thing that the aircraft really brings to the table is, I kind of think of it as a flying ICU. We keep a crew of a nurse and a paramedic on the aircraft. We have a large assortment of medications and procedures that we can do. So we're not just a fast taxi. We're starting, if not completing, procedures that are going to make the difference, that might be the difference between life and death. Things that you would normally get in an ICU in a hospital, we can get that done early. Additionally, there's some stuff that we do that really transforms the type of care that's available out to the folks in RIM country that are enjoying the outdoors, right? That's why we come up here. Banner Air is the only flight program in the country that carries a rattlesnake antivenom. So we've given that a number of times for some folks who've been out on a hike and had an unfortunate encounter with a rattlesnake. Same thing, minutes count. They make the difference between spending a week in the hospital and spending a night in the hospital. So being able to bring the definitive treatment for that situation right there into the mountains, into the woods, and start it immediately, that makes a big difference.
So you brought up a good point. On the helicopters, there's a flight nurse, correct? And
Yes.
you don't see that, I guess, in an ambulance. You have a paramedic or somebody, again, that has a certain level of medical skills, experience, but on that helicopter is a flight nurse, so that level of treatment can be higher.
Yes, absolutely. So the state of Arizona, just like any other state, has certain requirements and certain allowances for what an ambulance can carry, for medications and procedures that a paramedic can perform.
Gotcha.
And obviously when you add the nurse to the component, it really just opens the book wide open. Anything that we would do in a hospital, we can now do in the field if it makes sense.
Wow, yeah, that is something I never really thought of. I knew there was a flight nurse, but then like you said, the level of medicines, care, and so on is just increased.
Additionally, it's the experience, right? So your typical flight program, if you're a medic or a nurse and you want to go to a flight program, you need several years, 3 to 5 years experience in busy settings, in a busy 911 ambulance setting, in a busy hospital emergency room or an ICU. So these are folks that have a lot of experience, have seen a lot of things, and are very passionate about medicine. So they're having them out there in the field making these decisions. I mean, these are the same people that would be saving the lives in the ERs and the ICUs.
How many, typically, on an average month, how many flights are there from Banner Air from here in Rim Country down to the Valley?
Sure. So it varies, obviously. In the winter, things can get a little slower with less folks around. But I would say, on average, 1 to 2 a day. Certainly when it gets busier, it can be even more than that. We have aircraft that'll fly 5 times in a single day. Historically, for a helicopter, if you're looking at what makes sense, it's once a day. If you're seeing a need for an aircraft every single day, 1 time a day, that typically warrants having that resource available. And so we find that need is certainly present here in the basin.
And you said when you started you had 4 aircrafts. Do you still have 4 aircrafts?
Yes.
And where are they stationed?
So you've got one out in Sun City, so West Phoenix area. You have one out in the Queen Creek area, so East Phoenix, and then the 4th one is down in Casa Grande.
Wow, so we're really the only community in the northern part of Arizona that has one of Banner's helicopters.
Yeah. Again, stationed here at the hospital, so there's a lot of efficiencies that we have because the Banner aircraft is part of the Banner system. The hospitals are Banner employees, so it really works well as far as that kind of dynamic between the hospitals and the aircraft.
Okay, and so as far as membership, and I guess how does it work? Do you have to be a member to have services from Banner Air, or if you have insurance, does that cover it, or kind of how does this work?
So when it comes, the first thing I want to say is that no, you don't have to be a member to be flown by Banner Air. The helicopter, the emergency services, that's about making sure the patient gets to where they need to go. So it's not members only. No members only jackets with this one. Membership itself is a household membership, and we offer it to cover any out-of-pocket costs when they're flown with Banner Air. So co-insurance, co-pays, deductibles, you won't have to pay any of those when you're a member. And our membership, we offer our 1-year, 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year memberships. And again, for the entire household, so one person has the membership, everybody in the home has the membership.
Gotcha.
85 and 65 respectively a year, which in my opinion is a very lucrative pricing point to make sure that your financial peace of mind is taken care of.
Yeah, that is very reasonable considering, and I know it varies depending on your insurance policy, the coverage, how much you have to pay, and so on. But like you said, having that membership, you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about what your coverage is like and what you would be stuck paying out of pocket.
We've talked about this for a couple of years, and it's interesting if you look at the history of it. There was an air provider up in the Payson area that provided membership services to the community. And when we brought the Banner program into the community, we said that we were going to examine and talk to the communities and make the decision as to whether or not it was best to continue something like that or to go a different direction. And really the feedback we got from Payson predominantly was that the community wanted it, and that's why we went ahead and did it. I always encourage folks, check with your insurance. Call if you have Medicare, call them. If you have Blue Cross, call them and find out what your coverages look like. But I work for Banner and I have Banner insurance. But if I get put in a helicopter, I have a deductible, just like everybody else. I have a copay, and it's more than $85. So I look at the membership as something that ensures that that's the max that I'm going to pay. The other piece that I think that's important when we talk about membership is is it helps ensure continuity of the service in the community. So folks that have lived in Payson for 20, 30 years could testify to the fact that we've seen helicopters come in and go out, Company A, Company B, that are here for a while and then they move on or they pull out. One of the values of membership is it ensures that we have a base where we're able to continue operating under any circumstances. So we're not sitting here and asking ourselves, how busy are we today? How busy are we tomorrow? It's about making sure that we're here permanently.
No, that's a very good point. A very good point to bring up. Again, if you're just tuning in or just started watching on our KRIM Radio Facebook live stream, talking with Adam Martin and Richard Swedbergh.
Yes.
From Banner Air. I know, it's like,
tough one.
no, about the Banner Air program and operations. And again, I just feel we're very fortunate to have Banner Air services here in our community because that's not true for all of the rural communities in Arizona or other states as well.
Yeah.
You just don't see helicopters in all of the small towns, out west here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I grew up in Arizona, so
Okay.
I'm from Tucson originally, and then I lived for about 10 years in Flagstaff working for the hospital up there. So, I have that similar background. I want to be outdoors. I want to be enjoying nature, especially this time of year when it's just beautiful up here. But things happen, and I love to see, how much people are getting out these days compared to, maybe when I was a kid, when they're out on their ATVs and we're camping, we're hunting, doing all these things, these beautiful activities that are unique to Arizona. I worked as a paramedic for 15 years in the state, and certainly, the more you're out doing stuff, the more likely there's going to be a time when you might need some help. And knowing that help's available, I think just helps give a sense of security, knowing that not only do we have this beautiful state to enjoy, but we have a beautiful infrastructure with healthcare in the state to help take care of its citizens whenever they need that help.
And what I've noticed over the years is all ages. Really, there have been all ages that I've talked to that have either utilized the services themselves or family members.
Yeah.
It's not, and there could be people that, like you said, are recreating or doing things outside. There's an accident, something happens, a medical emergency, to someone, like you said, a stroke, a heart attack. Babies, infants,
Yeah.
There's something happened at birth and they're flown out. So it is like the entire spectrum
Yeah.
of issues.
Probably, I'd say about 30% of the patients that we fly are children.
Wow.
So, little kiddos, have things that happen to them too. They like to play, they like to have fun. And then, you make a great point. Somebody's going to have a baby and everything goes fine, and then the baby's born and there's something that needs to get checked out, something that needs to get taken care of, and you don't want to be wondering how we're going to get to that hospital, that children's facility down in Phoenix. You want that peace of mind knowing that the team's here, the team's trained, they're specialized, they're going to take great care of your son or your daughter, and they're going to get them where they need to go. And certainly, the incidents that happen that are not medical, so traumas, car wrecks, falling off ATVs, that's almost half of what we do. So, people think of helicopters a lot. It's grandma or grandpa having a heart attack going in the hospital. That's certainly a percentage of it, but the majority is actually, young, healthy folks that just have an accident and need some help.
And especially with the more remote areas that we have here in Rim Country, I can think of somebody, that was out in a hunting accident. And it was a while before, the helicopter could get to them, medical personnel. So it was critical that, you know, they were taken down by helicopter because it had already been a longer amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the transport was very critical. Well, Adam, you mentioned the membership. How can people get signed up? Where can they find you? How do they get in touch with you? So on.
So the great thing about being up here in Rim Country is, again, in the summertime it is much cooler. So we've got the Payson Farmers Market every single Saturday, and I am actually set up every Saturday at the Payson Farmers Market. You can sign up directly with me. Membership it takes about 5 minutes to get signed up. It doesn't take hardly any time at all. If you don't see me at the Payson Farmers Market, you can always call me. You can email me. I can obviously give that information out, let people give people a lead in so they can grab their pen and paper and their cell phone. So here in a few minutes I can also give them the cell phone number that they can reach me directly to talk about membership, because, you know, Community Spotlight, not every question is going to be answered. There's still going to be something that people want to know. There's, you know, I've been doing this a while now, and I still hear questions that I think, oh, you know what, I haven't heard that one before. So people will have questions, so they'll be able to reach me. I think everybody might be ready. Let's go for it. My cell phone, it's my direct line, is 480. Now I forgot my cell phone number. 480-489-3473. And that'll come directly to me. So text, phone call. I talk to, usually after a farmer's market event, usually the following few days, my phone's blowing up. People that I talk to at the Payson Farmers Market who wanted to go home, talk to the spouse, talk to the family. And then calling me with follow-up questions. So I always have my phone with me. I try to answer it as often as possible. So that's that, and the Payson Farmers Market. Those are the two easiest way to reach me, especially directly. And we really enjoy the farmers market. You know, so much so that we sponsor Banner. We sponsor the music that plays every Saturday there. So it's nice to have some local talent, keeping everybody entertained. But yeah, Payson Farmers Market.
Yeah, it is a great event, that's for sure, and that's really cool that you guys are out there, but also the sponsorship, because the live music out at the Payson Farmers Market really adds to the atmosphere, and it's great that Banner Air sponsors that.
Part of the community involvement. I know that that's a huge aspect of Banner Air is, you know, it's not just, hey guys, drive by the hospital, take a look at the helicopter. It's we want to be involved.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You know, like I said, I've been doing this for close to 20 years, and I've been a part of a number of organizations, and, you know, they tend to be very big national organizations, and you know, they do good work, but what I find and I believe to be unique about us is this is a program built for Arizona, by folks from Arizona. Yes, we're you know, a business. We're here to do a good job, but we're here because we believe there's a need in the community, and we want to serve the communities.
And you can also look up Banner Air online. If you just Google or search Banner Air, it comes up very easy to find, and under bannerhealth.com, or part of their website. But it gives more information about Banner Air, their services, community outreach, communications center as well. So that's something interesting. Do you utilize, you work with dispatch, you must work with dispatch here, and then you have your own communication center as well?
That's right. We have our own dispatch center and our own team. They're down in Mesa. And then we work obviously with all the dispatch centers here. So whether it's Payson, the police, and then fire. There's a big dispatch center in Globe that a lot of providers work with. So typically the way the aircraft is requested is, you know, a firefighter or a police officer on scene says, I need a helicopter. He calls into their dispatch. They get a hold of us, and we're on the way.
Wow. And then you have, like you said, the communication center in the valley that will communicate with the aircraft.
Yeah, they do a lot of logistical support. You know, they're watching all the aircraft at all times, not just ours, but any other ones in the area, obviously, to make sure everybody stays safe. You know, when you have there's a really beautiful airport up here, and I've flown up here a number of times, but that means there's airplanes around, so we're always keeping an eye on everything and making sure we stay safe when we're in the air. And then they're helping coordinate, any number of transports. These aircraft will go, this one in Payson will go as far as Sholo, go as far as
Okay.
Springerville, Flagstaff, if that's where we need to bring somebody, or that's
Okay.
where we need to pick somebody up. So we're keeping track of the team at all times.
And especially this time of the year with fires.
Yeah.
And there's more aircraft in the air to
Yeah.
support the fires. So that's another thing that, has to be taken into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. The
uh,
monsoons certainly are
yeah.
the aircraft. The great thing about a helicopter, it can fly in any direction very easily and very quickly. So we're always watching storms and where are they developing, where are they going, so we can pick the best and safest path around them. The great thing about Arizona weather is it changes pretty frequently.
Yeah.
So the storm that's sitting on top of Payson at 2 o'clock this afternoon will be gone by 2:15 and be back to
yeah.
business as usual.
That is true. I mean, Arizona weather,
Yeah.
it does change quickly. That's for sure. And how the weather, though, with the helicopters, they're pretty good in, maybe inclement weather. And
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, they can fly in rain, they can fly in, even if it's snowing, they can technically fly. Where, the things that limit us is, we're not gonna fly into a lightning storm, right?
Okay.
We're not going to, if you've got like freezing rain, where you're getting ice built up on the aircraft, then we're not gonna fly. But the other thing we pride ourselves on, although this is a rare solution, is that we will take our nurse and our paramedic and we'll put them in an ambulance with the local ambulance folks here up in Payson, who have been big supporters of ours. They do an
Okay.
exceptional job. So if there's a need for the quality of the team, but for whatever reason the aircraft can't be used, then we'll get in the ambulance and we'll provide that care in the back of an ambulance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. I know just recently I saw a post on Facebook and a couple that had gone into the ER here, and the husband was flown down
Yeah.
and down in the valley. I forget which Banner facility they went to, but they credited the ER and flight being able to get down there so quickly in saving his life that he was still alive.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's just one example, but like you said, if there's 1 to 2 flights a day, there'll be many examples of where Banner Air has been a life-saving service
Yeah.
for people in the community.
Yeah, that was an incredible story. It was on Fox 10
That's
News
right,
just
yeah,
I
yeah.
think last Tuesday as well. I know you can look it up online.
Mhm.
And it's your point is valid. It's an incredible story. It's one of a couple thousand of those stories that we have every year, and so we try very hard when we see that impact and a family is having this kind of great experience. We want to reconnect them with the crew, because in the case of this individual, he hadn't had the opportunity to actually meet the folks that had saved his life because he was not awake.
Yeah.
So to be able to reconnect, I think it's not only does it make a huge difference for the family, but it makes a huge difference for the crews. In emergency medicine, so often, we're just a piece of the puzzle, right? We're making the difference, at just one point in this journey that this individual's on. So oftentimes you hand them off to an emergency room, you hand them off to an operating room, and then you never hear back. You assume the best, but you don't know. So to be able to reconnect, again, not only makes a big difference for folks that were impacted by the care, but it makes a big difference for the caregivers as well.
That's a good point. Again, if you're interested in learning more about memberships, finding out more about the memberships, you can find Adam Martin at the Payson Farmers Market every Saturday, set up right in the center of the market there, right near the information booth where Lorian and Janice are usually sitting, handing out tokens and answering questions about the farmers market. He's right next to them. So yeah, I encourage you to go out there and get your questions answered. And if you know you want to get signed up, you said it only takes like 5 minutes, right?
It does. You can get signed up right there at the farmer's market. We just step right through the process. And before you walk away from the booth, you have your household ID number. And then within about 10 to 14 days after that, you receive your membership packet, which will have Banner Air member stickers, membership card. And I'll just say it now, I say it to everybody every single time, put that membership card behind your ID. Because again, if emergency services does need to respond and they want to dispatch, they're checking your ID to see who they're dealing with anyway. They'll see that and make sure that when they call dispatch, let's get Banner Air, let's get them going. So yeah, so before you even leave the booth or get off the phone with me, you have a household ID number and you will have your membership information within the next 10 to 14 days.
All right. Well, anything else you would like to share this morning or let listeners know about Banner Air?
No, I think great questions, great discussion, and we love being up here. So looking forward to continue to be part of the community, and we'll see you out there during the summer. We participate in a lot of the events, the rodeos and air shows and things. So get a hold of Adam if you have any questions, and keep an eye out for us. We look forward to seeing folks.
All right, sounds good. And I have to stop by and say hi next time at the market. I make a beeline for the tamale store. I get tamales, and the other day though, I did say hi to Janice and Lori, and they were at the booth there. So I walked by your booth, but I didn't stop in and say hi.
You can always bring me a tamale too.
I know so many good things. Oh my gosh, at the market. Yeah. Tamales, just one of them. And the pizza out there, Indian food.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
there is something for everyone at that farmer's market. Yeah. And usually there's more than just one thing out there for everybody.
Oh yeah, I talked to so many people, and because I think this is their 15th year of the Payson Farmer's Market, and this year they have the most vendors they've ever had. And yeah, you just walk around, it's like, oh, wow, what is this? Oh, I could use some of this. And then after you get used to it, the bread too, Craig, and he has this bread that's just so good. So, I know.
Now we gotta wait for Saturday.
I know. It's Wednesday, we're halfway there. So thank you again, guys, for coming on this morning and sharing. And thank you for Banner Air for being here and the valuable service, the life-saving service that you provide to our community.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, yeah.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, thank you everyone for listening and watching this morning. And thank you to Desert Financial Credit Union for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Time to get back to the music with some Traveling Wilburys, Nirvana, Tears for Fears, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service.
KRIM weather forecast for Payson areas.
All right, guys, see you later.